going on? This is Chris Franco. I'm wearing a turtleneck right now, and it looks like I have no neck. I just want to, if you're first time watching one of these videos, I do have a neck. But if you aren't sure, it's a good reason to subscribe and tune in next time to see if, in fact, I do have a neck. What I want to talk about, though, and what I'm going to play you, is a clip of Charlie Munger from a few years ago describing why he thinks China has been so successful. And the reason I want to bring this up is partly due to what Charlie said at the Daily Journal meeting about China, and just generally how the media tries to portray his affinity for China. From my perspective, and again, this is coming from someone who, I have the Charlie Munger Quotes account on Instagram. I think I'm probably the most, I'm the expert authority on, at least under the age of 35, on all things Charlie Munger. Charlie Munger is really into figuring out why things happen, especially extreme things. And if you've heard the concept, the Lollapalooza effect, which is a term he coined, that's really what that's all about, is trying to figure out what causes extreme things to happen. And it's almost always a confluence of factors. But China and China's success is definitely an extreme outcome. And Charlie Munger also really enjoys looking at the systems that are in play and the role that those systems have in creating outcomes and just, producing behavior. So in this clip that I'm going to show you, and this is again from a few years ago, probably 2019, Charlie's talking about just how amazing it is that China has taken what he describes as the Singapore system and made it work so well in a country that had been previously, in poverty. It's still a communist country, but they've applied the basic ideas of free market capitalism, and it's had explosive results. It also will show you that Charlie's interest in China, it's not about, he's not ignoring some of the things that are more controversial. He's purely looking at the success economically of the country and how that happened. And that in itself, he feels is really noteworthy and really interesting and worth discussing. But again, the media tends to take it, make a headline, and make it sound like that he's praising communism, which is just outrageous. But without further ado, let me play you this clip. I've added a few different things to it. I chopped it down to make it a little more punchy. But I wanted to just, keep the main ideas. So let me know what you think. Leave a comment. If I'm missing something, please inform me. This is an effort to continuously learn more and be more knowledgeable, not only as investors, but just as people. So let's watch it.
Who would have guessed that the Chinese communists would improve their big country as much as they have in the last 30 years?
That surprised you?
Well, they didn't. The first 20 years, they had the Cultural Revolution. It was crazy. And now they have one of the greatest success records in the history of mankind. I don't know about you, but I did not predict it.
So what is the secret to China's success then?
They copied Singapore. Remember, the communist leader said, I don't care if the cat is black or white, I care whether it catches mice. And they copied a very wonderful, famous Chinese man in Singapore. And lo and behold, they found the right Chinese leadership outside of China, which amuses me. Now, he was Chinese, but look at the way it worked. In the whole history of the world, no nation that big has ever advanced that fast. And they did it by having a bunch of poor people save half their income. They did not use the wealth of the rich world to get ahead. They used the savings of poor people. I am a huge admirer of what the Chinese have accomplished. If you ask me who is the one man who did the most for China, it was Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore. They copied him.
Are you still sanguine about the future for China right now? There's a lot of concerns about slowing growth and leverage in the system.
I'm quite optimistic. They've been succeeding for a long time. Sure, they have ups and downs, and they make mistakes as well as good decisions. But if you average them out, the Chinese are getting ahead. They're not moving backward.
What do you think the economic relationship between China and the United States looks like, say, 2 years from now?
Well, if both sides have any sense, they will be better and better friends and adjust all differences. It is stark raving madness on either side not to make a friend of the other really powerful nation on earth.